Shahid Khan is the man who has made an £800 million bid for Wembley Stadium, and it is perhaps typical of the 67-year-old who has enjoyed a rapid rise throughout his life on the way to becoming a highly successful businessman and, of course, a billionaire. To Fulham fans especially, he is already a well-known name in the game. Khan has owned the Cottagers since 2013 and the championship outfit are not his only sporting interests. NFL side Jacksonville Jaguars are also under Khan's ownership, but it has not come easy, having arrived in the United States from Pakistan as a teenager with just a few $100s to his name. Khan was born in Lahore, Pakistan in July 1950 to mother, Zakia, a maths professor, and father, Rafiq, who sold surveying equipment. Encouraged by his father, who stood for humility and frugality, Khan from an early age developed a nose for business. As a child he would build and sell radios, and perhaps with his father's influence would not allow any opportunity to pass by without being able to make a profit. For instance, even Khan's childhood friends got a first-hand experience of his financial prudence as they were charged to rent his comic books. However, behind the eye for a profit there was a sporting passion too, and Khan would spend many days in his childhood at the Lahore Stadium, now Kadafi, to bask in cricket. Typically, he saved money by doing this too. Khan would often go with his father and they never bought a ticket, having always walked into the ground after tea when entrance was free. At the age of 16 he moved to the United States to study mechanical engineering at the University of Illinois in Champaign-Urbana with just $500 to his name, spending his first nights at a YMCA. Concerned that he would quickly run out of money at the $2 a night accommodation, Khan went out the next morning to get his first job, washing dishes for just $1.20 an hour. Soon after, the engineer by trade would start work at automotive manufacturing company Flex and Gate, and 13 years after arriving in the United States he bought the company for $800,000. After initially supplying a small range of bumpers to Toyota, the 1980s saw demand increase from the Japanese car manufacturer for his one-piece bumpers to the point that by 1989 his company was the sole supplier. As recently as 2012, Flex and Gate were on two-thirds of all the cars and trucks sold in the United States, with sales worth $3.5 billion. According to Forbes, the company now has 62 plants worldwide and over 24,000 employees. And Khan has been described as the personification of the American dream. In 1991, Khan became a U.S. citizen, but it was not until 2010 when he first rekindled that childhood passion for sports while trying to purchase 60% of the NFL side St. Louis Rams. Intriguingly, he quickly ran into a roadblock put up by current Arsenal owner Stan Kroenke. A deal was all but agreed for Khan to purchase his stake, but as a minority shareholder of the Rams, Kroenke exercised a clause in his ownership agreement to match any proposed bid that denied Khan the chance to become the first ethnic minority to own an NFL team. It took Khan another 2 years to land that accolade when he completed the $770 million purchase of the Jacksonville Jaguars, who after a few years of failure have shown rapid improvement. Under a new coach in Doug Marrone, the franchise recently recorded their first winning season as well as reaching the playoffs for the first time in a decade. But NFL was not enough for Khan, and just a year after purchasing the Jaguars he moved into the realms of owning a Premier League club, albeit that status was brief. Khan bought Fulham from Mohammed Al Fayed for a fee believed to be between £150 million and £200 million, and at the time he said, "Fulham is the perfect club at the perfect time for me. I want to be clear, I do not view myself so much as the owner of Fulham, but a custodian of the club on behalf of its fans. My priority is to ensure the club and Craven Cottage each have a viable and sustainable Premier League future that fans of present and future generations can be proud of." Unfortunately, a tumultuous season for the club would eventually end in relegation from the top flight. The club were in turmoil for much of the campaign, going through 3 managers including Martin Jol, Rene Meulensteen and the highly unpopular Felix Magath on their way to the championship. Like the Jaguars, there were no immediate improvements at the club following 2 seasons flirting with another relegation. But the appointment of Slavisa Jokanovic led to top 6 finish in 2017, and this season could still end with automatic promotion to the Premier League. Even with 2 sports teams under his wing, Khan, famously dubbed the Tache with the cash, continued to grow his assets, and in 2016 he purchased Toronto's Four Seasons Hotel for $225 million. According to Forbes, Khan's business adventures make him the 217th richest man in the world with a fortune worth £5.16 billion, $7.2 billion. Despite his frugal upbringing, he isn't afraid to spend some of it either. Along with his wife Anne, who he met in 1977 and has 2 children with, Khan owns a stunning 312-feet superyacht worth £140 million named Kismet and is also the owner of 3 private jets. Khan, however, is also not afraid to dip into his pockets for good causes. Through the Jacksonville Jaguars Foundation as well as the NFL, he is involved with philanthropy, while in 2011 he donated $10 million to the University of Illinois. It is in Illinois where he owns a large house as well as an $8 million penthouse in Park Tower, Chicago. However, he also owns another large penthouse in Naples, Florida, which he purchased in 2014 for $11.5 million.